Boom.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go. All right.
Well, I guess I have some questions for you. You ever feel like you have days where, your thoughts are so loud that you can't tell what's real, what's fear, and kind of where God is in the middle of it?
I spent literally 7.5 hours, like first thing this morning, like deeply embroiled in that battle of like between my thoughts, my mind, fear, and desperately searching for any external evidence that it was all going to be okay. I woke up at 1:30 this morning and I started rolling around, and no matter how I positioned myself, it was like someone was driving a railroad spike right into my spine. I don't know what, I just sat in one position for too long yesterday and it just caused this flare up. And I got up and just was like hunched over the heater in my room, like just sitting there. And I thought, it was really interesting that it happened the day after I made that post on Instagram about if you don't know the devil is real. It was almost like I was talking to my future self, because I made a post on Instagram based on a text you and I exchanged, and it got me thinking how if you don't believe in the devil, if you don't know the devil's real, you're operating at such an insane disadvantage. If you don't believe that there's a like super strong evil force that wants to destroy you,
right?
Which I didn't believe for a long time, then there's no way to combat it. And I had posted that, we talked about it, and then that happened, and it was like it took me until 9 a.m. of like breath work, sauna, jumping into my pool until I finally like got my thoughts back on track, because it was the whispers of just like, you're never going to be able to do this, as far as the sailing trip, which we'll talk more about at some point in the episode, and just everything. And you're never going to escape the pain. You're going to be in this much pain forever. This is your life now. Like I filmed the entire thing because I was so decrepit. Like I was hunched over, and the only thing that brought me back out of it was music. I just asked ChatGPT, actually. I was like, what's like some hard-hitting, like beautiful, emotional, uplifting, like cinematic orchestra music and stuff. And I started with that and progressed into just a bunch of different really good music, and that like slowly rejuvenated me and kept the evil thoughts at bay. Because it's not, what I've come to realize is like innately my self is like I'm happy, I'm excited, I believe what I want and who I want to be is light and positive, and I have all this optimism. So the voice that is telling me I can't do it, like, it's not me,
Right.
It's not. I don't recognize it as a
You think
part
it's
of
your
myself.
shadow?
I am not entirely sure what it is. I think it's I don't think it's actually like an entity outside of yourself, but I think it's fueled by that.
Yeah, I can see that. What kind of thoughts were you having? I guess what kind of thoughts in general do you have when that pain is so, like, you're so immersed into it?
If I don't have thoughts of like tenacity, if when I get lost in it, the bad thoughts are, this is how it's going to be forever. Like it just feels like it's never going to end, because it's been 6 years and like I'm in the peak amount of pain that I've ever been in. It's worse than it's ever has been. Not true, actually. There was about a 3 or 4 month period right after I got out of the hospital that was way worse. But other than that, like, it's been pretty extreme lately, and it just feels like it's been going on. It feels like I've lived 30 years in the last 6 years, because
Oh yeah, I feel that.
when you're in pain,
I feel that so much.
time slows down, which I've come to see as somewhat of a beautiful thing, because
You think it slows down, or does it like speed up in a way?
Oh, for me, it slows down. I feel like the last 6 years have gone by very slowly compared to the 6 years before that, when I was just traveling and working
Really?
and playing and having
Wow.
fun.
That's crazy because I feel like I mean, for me, it's about to be 4 years, but I feel like they've just like I can't believe it. I just can't believe it's been that 4 years already.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah, complete opposite experience.
that's crazy.
No, but I've spent so much time just languishing around, like down and out. Like I really have been on the edge of defeat for a huge portion of the time since I've been injured from different medical issues or whatever. And it's when you're just not able to when I'm not able to feel like I'm making any forward progress and I can't do anything and I'm just trapped, like for me, time just ticks by 1 second at a time. It's like watching the clock when you're waiting to get out of school.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can see it in that view. Where does prayer fall into any of this?
It's like the only hope I have of like really turning it around quickly and like with huge forceful impact. I haven't found, and I've tried everything because I didn't pray up until less than a year ago. I had like a really intense spiritual experience in the sauna, and that was when I started actually praying praying directly to God. Before I had like kind of prayers to like a generalized universe spiritual idea, but I didn't actually know if there was anything. Like I had a very cemented view of what was happening. Now my view is not cemented by any stretch of the imagination, but it's taken a little more form than it had before. And since that started, the prayers just started like they would work sometimes. Not all the time, but almost all the time when my heart really does it with full gratitude and full like, I understand that this is a gift and this is beautiful and this pain's a gift and this pain is my only motivation. Like if it wasn't for this pain, like if I didn't discover this level of suffering, I wouldn't have this incredible drive to like get to these islands and stuff and help people get wheelchairs and help people. Like the suffering I've experienced and knowing there's other people out there suffering more than me, as much as me, or even close to as much as me in way worse conditions. And because I'm in this beautiful home with tons of resources and medical resources and
with
a wheelchair that can get, if anything happens to it, Chris will help me out and instantly. Like I have it so good, and it's still the fucking hardest thing I've ever done every single day. And so if I didn't have this pain and suffering, I wouldn't have that incredible compulsion that's like, there's nothing else I want to do in the world than find a way to alleviate other people's suffering, if only for a moment, if only with a hug, if only with building them a ramp, getting them something. Because like Chris was over here the other day, and he's incredible, obviously, as you know. It's a friend of ours who owns a wheelchair supply company and goes to third world countries and super rural places all over the world, the Dominican Republic, Africa, Indonesia, and uses his 30 years of wheelchair experience and knowledge to hold wheelchair clinics and fix people's wheelchairs and set them up with stuff, adaptive equipment, educate them on things. And he came over the other day and talked to me about it because I want to go on a big sailing trip, and part of that I want to do something that provides relief to people in places that I go in any way that I can, whether it's building houses, ramps, accessibility, getting equipment to them, medical supplies. I don't know what it's going to look like, or just education, or just love, whatever it is. And he just started outlining like how intense the problems are, because even if you bring people wheelchairs in a rural community, it doesn't mean there's an accessible path.
Right.
It doesn't mean their house is accessible. It doesn't mean they might not even be able to use the wheelchair in their house.
Right.
And the darkest thing, it brought tears to my eyes when he was talking about like in some places it's, I think he was I don't want to put any place wrongly accuse them of this, so I'm just going to say somewhere in Africa. I can't remember which country it was, but they saw it as like a curse.
He told me about this too.
Yeah, like they put the disabled.
I want to say it was someplace in Indonesia.
Oh, really? It could have been, yeah. But in any case, there was like these people had hid, like they lived in a tiny village, and no one in the village knew they had a disabled child.
That's crazy.
Because the child had never left their little tiny hut. They just hid it away and kept it secret.
Yeah, because they were like ashamed or something of it.
Yeah, and the hell that child is living in is unfathomable. And if you go there, especially as a disabled person, and show them that you're just a normal person, and like there's a chance and a hope that you could educate people and show people like, oh no, this is something that you give love to. This is something they deserve extra love, not beatings and being hid in a hut for the rest of their life.
Right.
Or being killed.
Yeah, and suffering even more than what they already are being disabled.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is unfathomable. I remember him telling me all kinds of stories. I think it was most of them that I remember were in Indonesia, and it was also pointed to the fact, I mean, it might even be kind of crazy being a white person in a wheelchair going and like speaking this stuff, because some of them have never seen a white person.
That's what he said in some of the really rural communities that he went to.
That's what I remember him telling me, and I'm thinking, whoa! And now that they'll see somebody in a wheelchair and they're white, and then they have this persona that all white people are like this. It's just crazy.
I wonder I wonder how it's changed, because he has done lots of his travels over decades.
Right.
Where there was many rural places that even 10 years ago had nowhere near the connectivity they do now. I wonder if it's changed. Because when I was in Africa, I'd be in like 100 miles out into the desert in the middle of Namibia. There's only grass huts.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
There would just be I would just be on a road, the most desolate road you can imagine, no cars for days, and there would just be a dude like sitting on the side of the road in like tribal clothes, and he would just be on a smartphone listening to 50 Cent.
That's wild.
And so I had perfect internet everywhere I went.
Yeah,
in like the farthest reaches of the desert in Namibia. I almost never lost service.
That's insane to think about and to see.
The only place that I fully lost service for days was one stretch in southern Namibia, between the border of South Africa and Namibia, and one stretch in the Skeleton Coast that was really, really remote. But other than that, I could like watch YouTube.
That's wild.
Just in the wilderness out in Africa.
And they're all in like they have barely any clothes on, and they probably have like animal blood on their face, and they're holding like a smartphone.
Yeah, that's how it was. Especially, it was really crazy to see like the Himba people in Namibia have smartphones, because they dress crazy. They have like mud dreads and stuff. And
I can imagine.
They put like I think beef fat all over them and stuff. So they're like, but it's just what's happened to the world with smartphones in Africa.
Yeah.
It's like, $1 a week to have $1 or $2 a week to have like unlimited data.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. We're getting screwed here.
Yeah.
But aside.
Yeah,
aside
for real. Well, let's talk about your sailing trip. At what point? I mean, so we've been battling these thoughts of doubt and fear, and when we start silencing the doubt and the fear, we have these quote unquote downloads that people say about ideas and aspirations and things like that. At what point in time did this idea come to you to like want to pursue this new venture?
Well, my brother actually just pitched me the idea. He was like, if we could get like sailing catamarans and stuff, like would you sail the world? And at first I was like, I can't do that. Like that's impossible. And I just started thinking about it more and more. Because like if you just think about it for a second as a paralyzed person, it immediately like it's like there's a million problems. Like,
right. Well, we tend to focus on the things, all that, like all of our limitations and what we like can't do.
Yeah, and I just didn't. I didn't think about it deep. I just thought that's crazy. Like I just
Like, why are you even bringing it up?
and literally, I started thinking about it more and more. And I've always thought that at some point in my life, I would sail around the world. I always just I never really had it like concrete inside my head. It was just like in the back of my mind. Just an intuition almost like that it would happen at some point. I tried to do it in Australia. I tried to meet someone to take me briefly. I didn't try that hard, but like I was always willing. It was always something that sounded cool to me. And I was just thinking about it more and more. I was like just fucking around on ChatGPT one day, and I was talking to it in my car, I think, about different stuff. And I was like, hey, has any paraplegic ever sailed around the world before? And
Charlotte was like, actually, yeah.
One guy solo sailed around the world. I was like, some guy did it by himself.
Wow.
I was like, it's doable. And
all I need is one person.
And I already had it in my heart, like thinking more and more that it was doable. But it just goes to show you how incredibly impactful doing things like that is. Because if that guy hadn't have done it, I would have been like, there's been a lot of paralyzed people who like sailing. Like there's a lot of paralyzed people that sail, obviously.
Right.
But undertaking like a circumnavigation of the world is a whole different beast. But I started researching it more. I started watching sailing videos and started thinking about it. And I was like, oh, this isn't like just doable. This is like an upgrade on my life in every single way. Like a boat, to get like an insane huge catamaran, the boat payment would be less than I pay for my mortgage. Like, because they're 20, I didn't know there was 20-year notes, and that owner financing is super common, and it's just way more doable than I thought it was. And I just thought, man, I might be in pain and suffering, the same amount of pain and suffering, but if I was doing it
on blue water,
jumping in and shooting fish and eating fresh fish and adventuring on islands. And obviously, like, it's like the most inaccessible thing you can ever do. You're constantly on beaches and stuff. And I just started designing things inside my head to make it work. I was like, I'm going to design special shorts that have padding all over the hips and knees and everything so I can move around the boat without impact and stuff. I'm going to design something where I can stand in the boat, like at the helm, where I can just have something that swivels out and I can put my knees on it so I can get standing time. And I was like, I'll bolt my FES bike in there because you can do, because of battery life, the improvement in lithium ion battery technology. Solar power is actually a viable thing that you can get away with using quite a lot of power on a boat now. So
it's amazing.
It's just modern technology converged with sailing in a way that it's nowhere near as extreme as it sounds.
Right. You could even get like a massive tarp that you could like when you get onto an island that you just put over the sand so you can wheel on that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Get some sort of platform that could easily go out there.
Yeah.
And what really, like, as soon as I was like, so that whole process, I'm pretty impulsive, took about 45 minutes. Like from the idea to like, I got a plan. Yeah, well, my brother kind of implanted the idea a couple weeks ago. I was just like, nah, I didn't really think about it or anything. And then just in that moment, started thinking about it, and then from that moment to like 100% certainty I'm going was like 45 minutes. I called multiple people I know. I was like, I'm sailing around the world. I told my parents they hate it so much. They hate it so much. And they know it's going to happen. Like, they know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the coolest thing about the whole thing and what sealed it in stone is as soon as that happened, my drive and motivation and my just everything became so much easier. I had like an incredible boost in just my desire to work out, just my general mood, like everything, because I'm just a person.
There's like a big goal.
I'm just a person who needs an expedition.
Yeah. I
just have to be realistic about who I am. And like when I have an expedition to plan for and a grand adventure, I'm happy.
Yeah. And
when there's just sitting in the suburbs and doing normal life and working ahead of my horizon,
the mediocrity,
I start to rot, and it physically kills me. Like,
it's just hard.
I won't live as long. I won't be as happy. Like, I have to do something like this.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally understandable. I feel the same way in regards to being it feels like confined in a chair when, I mean, you have a wild spirit. I have a wild spirit, and for it to be confined into a chair where, everybody kind of tells you have these limitations, and not even that they tell you, but there's this what's the word I'm looking for? Connotation that, because you are in a chair and you are confined to it, that you're unable to go and do XYZ expedition or XYZ venture or whatever it is. And I think having, especially somebody that likes to go and do these things, it's really important to find what that thing is.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to spark up again that, to spark up your spirit.
Yeah, I was toying with like the idea of going and finishing my Africa trip, like the rest of the way from Zimbabwe to Cairo, but I hated biking when I wasn't paralyzed, so I can imagine I like it more now. And like sailing's just actually like pretty reasonable, all things considered. Like you have a lot of freedom in the water and I think it'll heal me. I think spending that much time in the ocean and the sun and eating fresh food and like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I just think it's like the most likely scenario to having.
Well, your nervous system will just be at a different place, in a different place.
Such a different place. Yeah.
Versus it's a different kind of hustle and grind, but it's not like the hustle and grind that tears down your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
It's one that like is actually feeding it and nourishing it to where you feel revitalized and you're actually wanting to get up and go and do the work and do all of these things.
Yeah, and there's lots of people that like you better be careful. Like it's just repairing your boat in exotic places. It's tons of work. There's tons of logistics.
Like, there it is.
You have to get permits and everything. I'm like, I don't care if I'm just sitting in tropical somewhere trying to get permits and like, there's like shit's hard no matter what you're doing.
Right. Exactly. And it's just choose your hard.
Mm-hmm.
You want to it's basically just choosing your hard.
It's hard no matter what. Just accept that's a huge like thing that I think every human being, maybe not every human being, but I think that a lot of people expect to get to a point in life where it gets easier.
Right.
I'm pretty confident, like my experience so far is life gets continually harder until you die. Maybe that's not true for everyone, but like so far,
I think people that have higher aspirations and goals in life, that it does continue to get harder, because the more that you challenge yourself to reach said goals, the more you're put into certain situations that challenge you.
Mm-hmm. And you're just going to take on more responsibility. You're going to have more people that you like
count on you.
Because I feel incredibly obligated to alleviate suffering on like a large scale somehow, even if it's one person at a time, but like on a daily basis, where most of my days are spent in service to others. And in my current life scenario, with the way that I have to work and just the incredible cost of living in America as a human being, but let alone as a disabled human being, is there's no hope on the horizon that I'm going to be of great service to people. I have to design my life like around serving others, or I'm just gonna die. Like I have to do something meaningful.
You have to find purpose in the pain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why some of us go through as much pain as we do and as much suffering as we do, because there is purpose behind it, and it's on us to take the responsibility in finding out what that is.
Yeah.
And that's why we go through as much suffering as we do, because there's reasoning behind it, and that's the responsibility that we have to take on to find that. Or create it, actually.
Yeah, and I think that the total unnatural circumstance that our generation in America has found itself in, where the vast majority of us are in our 30s and like don't have kids and don't have, I think that's a huge hole in most of our, like it's a hole in my soul for sure. Like I know for a fact that if I had kids today, because I have a dog and she fills that void a little bit for me, but it's definitely not the same.
Yeah.
And they're way less work than children are. But if I had children to focus on, I would just be so compelled to make their life, like I would be so compelled to serve them all day, every day, that I wouldn't have to, it's like a forced service life. Whereas like now without children, I have to look for someone to serve. And
that's a thing, actually.
And I'm just trying to survive. I don't have time to serve anything. I don't have time to fucking serve myself.
Right.
Like I literally don't. I don't even know when would I help someone. Like I can't even get the general household tasks done around my house and work. Like to even.
Yeah. Well, that's funny you say that. So Patrick Young at the fundraiser we were just at. So Patrick Young, he's an ex-basketball player from the University of Florida who he played for 4 years and then also was in a car accident and became paralyzed. And we went to a fundraiser the other night where he was at because CORE and Central Florida Gators came together and are as a fundraiser for the CORE Foundation that our rehab place is putting on. And he talked before you had gotten there, he had spoken, and he talked about how he started his nonprofit or the Patrick Young Foundation 3 months after his accident, and people were like, "You're crazy for going and trying to help other people." And his response was he's like, "There's never any in any point in time that you can't help somebody. You never have it that bad where you can't help somebody else." And I think when we go through really horrible things, we try to the way that we can also feel better about ourselves and stuff is if we do give back and we do help other people, no matter how hard it is for us. And although it is extremely difficult, what we are navigating and going through, being able to help others makes us feel at least a little bit better about what we're going through.
Yeah, I was thinking that I might go just one day a week and just hang out with old people at a nursing home.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that's something that makes me really sad, is just thinking about people languishing away, not
I bet you'd hear a lot of cool stories.
Yeah, and I also love old people. I love old crazy people.
I'm sure they have all kinds of stories to tell.
Yeah, they usually do.
Yeah, which, and then there's a lot of wisdom in the stories as well.
This is a total tangent, but I went to a random barber. He had this really cool little barber shop under this salon studio, and he asked about my accident. He's like, I was in a car accident. I got hit on a scooter and I woke up 6 weeks later with a beard after being in a coma. And he said it so casual. I was like, that's gnarly, man. And I said, yeah, it was pretty gnarly. And he went into the story how he had to learn to walk again, didn't know who any of his family was. And then he's like, I also got in this other car accident where some guys got some change stole from him. We were chasing him. They shot at us with AK-47s and I crashed his car into a wall.
All nonchalant.
And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? That's the craziest thing. And it was he told this, I was like, that is one of the craziest stories I've ever heard. And then he just was like, yeah, I also totally tangented into I also have 10 children with an 11th on the way. And I was like, how old are you? And he was also was from Manhattan, and he was he was delivering money to the World Trade Center as he was a brand new security job that he had the day that 9/11 hit.
Holy
and
shit.
He's like, and I just told my mom called me going all crazy. And I was like, Mom, chill, it can't be that bad. And he's like, it was that bad though. There was dust and people running everywhere. I was like, this guy is nuts.
Whoa.
It was the coolest barber ever.
Was this the recent haircut?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I just Googled a random barber right over here in Altamont, and he was
that's amazing.
He was such a laid back, cool dude, just telling the wildest story. You could tell he had a fucking crazy ass life, because this was obviously not the craziest stories from his life.
Yeah.
These were just
nonchalant things.
Coming up based on what we were talking about. I was like, if you dug into what this guy's done.
Wow.
He mentioned being homeless in Manhattan for a little bit, and some other, I was just like, dude.
Wow.
And he looked like he was 32, but he has 11 children and was working during the World Trade Center. He must have been in his 40s. But
that's insane. I can imagine what the stories he has that are serious to him.
I know. Yeah. I wonder where he learned to cut hair. I was like, did you learn to cut hair in prison?
Yeah. True. No, I mean, people surprise you. I don't know if I think I told you in passing, but I think I'm really gonna do, like, where on the weekend I go and I put a sign out on the beach that says, let's have a conversation, just to, like, talk to people, just to, like, see what kind of stories there are. And I might make the sign and be like, if you have a cool story to tell, you should come tell me. And just to, like, see what kind of conversations come up, to be able to either, one, hear somebody out, or two, like, gain whatever wisdom they have, or three, like, they might have some crazy stories that would be really amazing to talk about.
Everyone's got crazy stories if you take the time. I'm really like, I have lost my sense of curiosity. I became a lot more cynical, not just after being paralyzed, but the last couple of years before I got paralyzed. I took on a more cynical view of other people and the world and everything. And one of the things that cynicism kills is trust. And before, like, I had just, like, definitely a naive trust, but, like, a beautiful trust, and just love and interest in everyone. And so everyone I met for, like, decades, I just asked them questions. I was so curious. And it just blossomed into, like, crazy stories. Everyone's got.
And connection.
Yeah. People love telling. People feel very connected if you take the time to hear about them. I mean, when do you feel the best? When people...
Yeah, they feel heard and seen. And I think that's really important, and just conversation in general, for you to make the other person feel heard and seen by asking those questions. It's funny that you bring up trust, because me and one of my best friends last night, me and Parker, we were talking about trust, actually, and how, there's, like, two sides to trust. There's the side of, if I meet you, you have my full trust until you show me you don't. Like, until you show me that I shouldn't trust you. And then the other side of it is that you have to earn my trust, and I have to earn your trust. And so it's like this back and forth of, if I give you my full trust, my awareness then starts looking at, like, your actions, and it doesn't have to be direct actions towards me, but say you do something that's a little bit shady. Okay, now that trust is lowered.
Yeah.
So it gets to, so then there's, like, a threshold of how much can I actually trust this person. And then also, I think trust falls in line with safety. Like, does this person make me feel safe? Can I share my inner thoughts and feelings? Are they even curious about my thoughts and feelings, or, things about me, and vice versa?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much have my full trust until you fuck me over, like, 17 times.
Yeah, same.
I'm pretty bad about that.
Same.
I believe so much. Like, I believe so much in people.
I do too. I have, like, and people probably look at it as, like, being naive and stuff, but it's really, like, I just have so much trust that you're not a shitty person, and if you're gonna show me that, like, you are shitty, then
my ex had a really good radar for shitty people, and she would get so mad at me because I would just keep giving them chances. And, like, defend them, and I always believe that people will, that it was just an accident. They didn't mean to do anything wrong. Please say that this recording didn't stop. Okay, just making sure. Yeah. My computer locked. That scared me. I was like, not again.
I know.
But yeah, I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to a friend about just being in sketchy places and sketchy people. And I was like, I've never been scared of another human being, ever. Like, I don't know. I've never had an experience where I was, like, genuinely scared. I have a naivety where I'm like, I can win them over. Like, and because I trust them so much, and I already love them. I already trust them. I already don't think they're bad. No one's ever done anything bad to me, ever.
Right.
Like, they've done bad things to me not knowing me. Like, I've had shit stolen from me, but it was just someone stealing from an anonymous person. It wasn't like, I mean, friends and stuff that fucked me over, like, but they were all, like, drug addicts. And so you can't, I mean, drug addicts fuck everyone over.
Yeah.
But it was never like I've never had, like, I don't know.
Like anything malicious.
Yeah, not any.
Like intentionally malicious, like out to get you type of interactions.
I don't remember any interactions in my life where someone was, like, genuinely out to get me, like, persecuted me.
And I mean, that says a lot about you. Right?
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, But I mean, what you put into the world is what you get out of it. I mean, I don't think I've actually really had any malicious things that are people out to get me in any kind of way that I can recall. Maybe I have, but
I've definitely never done anything majorly. I've done horrible fucking shit to people and been an absolute menace of a human being to like, fucking have a wake of pain in my past, but it was not intentional or malicious.
Yeah.
Almost ever. I do like little like intentionally malicious things sometimes.
Like what?
Like
what? Let's unpack that a little bit.
I don't know. Like, what's a good example? Like, just if like someone like is like leaving a constant mess or something around the house, like I'll just do something like a little shitty, like, you know.
So it's like their karma in a way.
Yeah, but it's just like that's like as malicious, like as intentionally like to bother or annoy someone. But
well, because what they're doing is bothering and annoying you.
I mean, I definitely like fucking with people if it's gonna get a laugh. Like, but that's just how I was raised. Like, my family was like, it's, you know, it's not, you know, it's only funny until someone gets hurt, and then it's fucking hilarious. Like, it's like the best thing ever.
And then you're like, wait, are you okay? And then it's like, aha.
No, it's the laughing comes first. The okay comes second.
Yeah.
For sure. In my household, this is just my uncle is on my heart because he just got probably diagnosed with prostate cancer. He's one of the greatest human beings that's ever lived. Like, he is just a great person. Just all he does is work and serve. He's like just one of those guys that's just always out for other people. But I just remember that one time my dad pointed out the window. I was like probably 6 or 7 years old. I must have been about 8, because my brother was probably about 5, and he pointed out the window. He's like, look, reindeers. There's reindeers out there. And like, we went and ran over to the window and we're pressing the window at my grandma's house, and my uncle jumps up in the window with a hockey mask on, like a Freddy mask on. And yeah.
That's awesome.
So
you guys screamed like little girls.
Oh, it scared the living shit out of us. We're looking for reindeers and Santa Claus, and there's a fucking evil man outside trying to kill us all of a sudden. My dad and uncle would literally, like, when I would sleep over at my cousin's house, like he would hide walkie-talkies up inside the bed and like make monster noises, and like they didn't. So they bred some malice into me as far as pranks go.
I love that.
We came from quite a pranking family.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Builds character.
Yeah, it does something. Some trauma maybe too.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. But I mean, at least it gives you like a sense of like you can play around with people, and like people can play around with you.
100%. Yeah, no, I don't think it builds any trauma. I think you should fuck with and scare your kids for sure. Like, they should be, you shouldn't do anything horrible, but like.
Well, yeah, definitely.
Like.
my sister, so my sister and my brother are significantly older than me, so, but their age gap is fairly close. And my sister, at one point in time, like, my brother came home from school, and he didn't know if anybody was home, but my sister was home, but like, she hid from him, and she like went outside and like started like hitting like on the windows and stuff, and then like came inside and like opened up like the knife drawer and shit. Yeah, and from what like they told me, like, he was so scared, and I think like he like called my mom or something. Oh my gosh! But it's like shit like that makes things like so funny.
I would be the fuck out of that house at any age. Like, yeah. My parents had a pretty loose. They were a little bit strict about it sometimes, but they had a like loose rules about watching like really scary movies, and I had an intense imagination. So if I watched a scary movie, like, it fucked me up for a long time.
Yeah, I couldn't watch scary movies when I was little.
And so I was a very scared child of like, anytime I watched a movie, I was like very like thinking that there was shit in the house watching me, or there was werewolves around, whatever it was.
I couldn't take baths for the longest time because I went over to a friend's house at one point in time, and it was a Freddy Krueger movie that was on, and the scene came up of like a bathtub filled with like blood and a dead body in there, and like for the longest time I didn't take a bath and because it freaked me out so much.
Yeah, you know what's scared me more than anything in my whole youth was the movie Gremlins, which as an adult isn't scary at all. But I watched it.
I don't know if I've seen that movie.
Basically, like some guy, he gets like these little Furby like things from like this Asian store, from this like Chinese store. This kid does, and the guy's like, don't feed them after midnight. There was like some rules, and he broke the rules, and they turned into these little like super fake animatronic like gremlin things. But I watched it when I was like 4, and it freaked me the fuck out. Like I was looking for gremlins for like 3 years after that. Like, anytime I was alone in the house, like wandering around the house alone for whatever reason to get a drink or go to the bathroom, I was like looking for little gremlins.
Yeah, like all scared and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think, well, to circle it back to the beginning of the conversation, do you think at some point in time, as a little kid, I don't ever recall really fear and doubt creeping in, and at some point in time, there's like a switch where like then that starts coming in, and can you recall when that fear and doubt or those self-destructive thoughts started being more present in your life? Like, were there certain avenues you went down to where that opened those thoughts up? Or
I mean, definitively for me, it happened at like a super super young age when because I had like what I now understand wasn't even that weird of a like sexual encounter with like another kid. Like, I don't know how to describe exactly, but
exploration.
I thought that like when I was like 4 or 5 years old, and I thought that like my parents didn't know about it, and I thought it was a secret, and I thought it meant that I was like bad and evil and that I was going to go to hell forever, and it completely fucked my entire brain up. Like when I was in kindergarten, I had like I was super social, imagination, like hanging out with other kids and stuff, and then in first grade I was like a mute. Everything inside me, like I was like, there's me, flawed, fucked up, horrible, evil, bad, and then there's everyone else who's perfectly okay. And that persisted completely uninterrupted until I was 13, at which point I was like, I don't know who this person is that I've become, but like they're dead now, and I just killed them and became a whole different person. Just started partying, doing a ton of drugs, and I just had all this repressed pain and self-hatred inside me, and I just snapped. I was like, I'm done with this. I want to have fun.
Do you think that pain and self-hatred that like evolved into or got translated into self-destruction through partying?
100%, yeah.
Yeah,
it just all
like that's how it was transmuted.
Well, I had wired deep inside my psyche that I was bad, flawed, evil, and inherently not good. And because I thought those things, I became those things. And because I was actually inherently very good, super empathetic, and had lots of love, all the pain and things that I caused because of that caused me tremendous amounts of pain, which just reinforced the cycle.
Back to our conversation from earlier when we were sitting outside, I think Stephen Covey talks about this, and I want to say that it's in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, but he talks about how your frequency is what you frequently see, and so in the loops or in the cycles and the loops that we go through of the self-destruction, self-sabotage, fear, doubt, that weird POSs, things like that, that's what ends up coming out into our external reality because of what's happening internally. And you had said that when you start seeing bad things or thinking about bad things, then just bad shit just is happening all the time.
Yeah, that's my number one evidence that God is 100% real, is because when you put your heart with God and believe in goodness and beauty and love and joy and bliss, then awesome things just happen, and there's all these synchronicities and just crazy things.
Yeah, it's so true.
And when you believe negative shit, cynical shit, when you're talking shit about people behind their back and just being, when you think the world's out to get you and you think that it's a bad, dark, evil place, it becomes a bad, dark, evil place like that.
Yeah.
You create your reality in a major way. And so that's evidence to me that God's real, because it just fucking works. Try it.
Right.
Like, just put your trust in it, surrender, and then all of a sudden magic happens.
Right. And I think a big part of that is also gratitude, being able to acknowledge the good that you do have in your life and being thankful for it. That opens up that doorway to seeing God work in the ways that he does.
You're totally right. It's without gratitude is the be all end all of it.
100%.
Like,
Patrick also talked about that in his little speech that he gave, that gratitude was like one of the biggest things that got him through like his tough time. And I could say the same thing for me. Like, gratitude was one of the biggest things that got me through to the other side of, what we've gone through, things like that. And so I 100% believe that that is a driving force, to be able to have a grateful heart, to be able to see God's work in your life, because you're now acknowledging all that you do have, all that he has given you. And in return, he gets to show you even more.
And that it also, in being grateful to God, is obedience to God. Because if you're not obedient, you're inherently not that grateful. And
yeah.
I've noticed that it makes a tremendous difference that when you live in alignment with the rules that are set forth, everything works so much better, and you can hear and feel that that connection just so much more. And the proof is in the pudding. It just works. Like, that's
because things aren't grayed out with things just aren't grayed out.
It doesn't stop there from being constant doubts, though. Like, it's not like a flick switched in me, and all of a sudden I don't think
for anybody, really.
Yeah, I just had faith all the time. Like, I can lose faith and gain faith like 47 times in one day.
In 1 hour, to be honest. I totally understand. But that's where the work is, right?
I can have like perfect 100% like gratefulness, gratitude, and then I'll knock my coffee over and be like, fucking everything's going to hell. I'm never gonna make it.
I mean, it's hard, and that's like it's so true. But then also, like, when you're in pain and stuff, that's what makes it that much harder. When we, that, like, what I was saying was, that's like the work, and that's why a lot of people don't do the work, because of how exhausting it is mentally and physically to continue reminding yourself that it doesn't have to be, like, you don't have to look at what you're going through the way that you're looking at it. Like, your reaction, if you spill your coffee and you're like, fuck this, you don't have to have that reaction. It's like, all right, there, I spilled it. Let me go get this paper towel and let me wipe it up, It's like all of these small little adjustments throughout the day that ultimately paint a different picture, and help you, move through the things that you're going through.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that it's millions of little tiny decisions that get you to anything that you're trying to accomplish, or any place that you want to be. And the way that you make decisions ultimately comes down to emotions. And it's a monumental task. I don't want to throw any shade at my parents. They're some of the greatest. I mean, I love them. They're perfect. I love them exactly. Everything that happened was perfect, and happened the way that it was meant to. But they're like, call a spade a spade. They were absolutely terrible at regulating their emotions, and I
think most people are, though.
Yeah, and that's one of the most, like, that is the one thing. If I'm a father, or when I'm with my nieces and nephews, or if I'm around children in any capacity, as a mentor or whatever, the one thing that I think you can teach them is emotional regulation. I don't think there's anything else you have to give to your kids. Any skill as a parent, like, if you give them rock solid emotional regulation, you've done the whole thing.
Yeah, because that's like one of the most important things in your adult life.
It's the most important thing in all of life is regulating your emotions, because it can destroy the world around you in no time. And the crazy thing is about emotions is 10 seconds of anger, lust, fear, doubt, 10 seconds of it can destroy 20 years of gratitude. Just shoot your wife and see how fast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's 10 seconds of unregulated emotion can destroy your entire life. It can destroy, and so it is the, it's the clinch pin that decides whether or not you get to the place that you're trying to go. But as I'm saying that, I'm also hearing Alan Watts in my brain of like the ultimate goal is to have already arrived. And that's what I'm trying to do more and more of. And it's really difficult to be like, I'm here already. Like, this is the moment. This is the perfect moment. I've already made it. And what's completely, what's a good word for counterintuitive? What's really counterintuitive about that is the fact that you're actually more productive, and you don't have to be running a race towards like some grind towards some future you that's going to be happy and taken care of and secure and safe and everything. If you decide to be secure, safe, happy, and content now, you're way more productive, and you just get to that. You get to the point that you're aspiring to all the time, because I've been running my whole life towards another moment. I've been looking for the next experience, the next thing, a future thing. And
I think that's what being in flow state is.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah, I think being in flow state with like your life and just being happy with where you're at, and in that moment, not worrying about where you're needing to go, where you've been. It's just right here, right now. You're giving everything that you can in this moment, whether that means you're paying super close attention and like having active conversations with your partner, with your nieces and nephews, with your parents, whether it's, doing a really good job in your workspace, or, performing wherever it is that you need to perform at, like all of these things, but in that moment, and just being like in it versus being in it and thinking about what you have to do tomorrow or what you need to be doing in the next 30 minutes, things like that.
Pain makes that really hard, because you're just in a fight or I get into a fight or flight. I just want to escape this.
Yeah, I just want to punch the fucking wall.
Yeah, I just want to escape this pain, and it makes you want to be in a different moment so bad. And I've come to learn slowly over time, it's a skill that I'm working on tirelessly, is that that pain is actually not that bad if you're only experiencing this moment of pain. Pain is only bad because you know it's going to keep happening. Like,
yeah.
If I was like in the pain that I'm in now, and I was like, you have to experience for 5 more minutes, I'd be like, oh, I don't care, whatever. But
yeah, because it's the uncertainty of not knowing how long it's going to last that I think makes it that much harder to deal with it.
Yeah, and so you're pulling all that future pain into your present moment through fear. Fear is the real bastard behind, because fear is the root of all the other bad emotions. I think that you're lustful because you fear being alone. I think you're angry because you fear the way that someone else thinks about you, or you fear that resources are going to be taken from you. I think you're sad because whatever, you fear being alone, you fear that you're not going to
amount to anything.
Yeah. So
all of these things. Yeah. Back to the emotional regulation. I had mentors growing up, and I recall, playing basketball, and I was like super off, and I just had a bunch of things going on in my head, and my mentor pulled me to the side and was like, stop doing what you're doing. Like, we're going to sit down and we're going to just talk. And that was a key moment in me learning how to regulate what was happening in my head to be able to continue performing at a higher at a higher what's the word I'm looking for, at a higher rate or whatnot.
Yeah, my biggest regret is when I was 14, I just put my middle finger up to everything, moved out of my parents' house almost full time, stopped listening to teachers, coaches, just said, like, everyone's misled me so far and told me that, like, this weird life that we're living and this pointless shit that I'm learning at school is going to be useful to me someday. Like, I feel very misled, and I just put my middle finger up. And so I didn't ever have an emotional mentor. I did have one guy, that was my girlfriend's dad, and I ended up working for him, and he was a mentor to me, but more of like a business, success. But he taught me a lot of stuff about life. He made a dramatic change, and I just wish that I had allowed adults into the equation. It was just me and a bunch of kids living in houses, partying. Like, there was no guidance.
Right. But that those taught you things that people that don't have that also are beneficial in your adult life too.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I think there is. I think if you really sat down and like...
You could pick some seeds. It taught me a lot of things that I shouldn't do in my adult life. I garnered a lot of bad habits.
That's what I'm saying. So they still taught you stuff.
Yeah.
Versus thinking, or even the regret of maybe not doing those things, right? Like... And then when you're 50 years old and you have a midlife crisis and you're like, I'm going to go fucking party, like all of these things, right? So it taught you lessons and things at an early age to where now that, as you progress through adulthood, you don't have to like learn those lessons.
I am grateful for that. I am grateful that like my party quota in life is full. Like I won't ever have some sort of crisis where I feel like I didn't do enough partying and, spend enough time trying to sleep with people and that whole thing that happens in midlife crisis for some people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, see? So lessons learned, valuable lessons learned.
Yeah.
Won't blow your life up later on.
Would have really benefited from like one mentor that was like, let's work on emotional regulation. Like, let's work on how we think about things. Let's work on compulsiveness and like impulsive decision making. Like, you see, when you think of an idea and don't weigh anything about it and then just do the idea and it fucks shit up most of the time. Let's put a gap in there where there's like idea, pros, cons list, then action.
Was there a pros and cons list for the sailing trip? Was that what the 45 minutes in between of seed planted to sprout?
No, it's not a skill that I've garnered over the course of time. It's not. No. My decision to move to Australia was like I had this moment in traffic driving in California, and like from the conception of the idea to calling my buddy and buying tickets was like when I pulled into the hotel. Like, I bought tickets to go to Australia. I had a business and everything, and I just told the guys like I'm leaving in 2 weeks. Like,
amazing.
So.
But see, that compulsiveness has put you in the situations that if you didn't have that, or if it wasn't garnered, that you wouldn't have had some of these experiences in your life. For
sure. No, being super impulsive when you're young can be dangerous, but it panned out completely awesome for me. I paid the price later in life, but like I had a good 12-year run where it was just like, it worked out. Yeah. Totally fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really piled up there at the end. Like, I accumulated some debt, but
but it was worth it.
It actually was totally worth it. I don't have any regrets in my life except for how I've treated some people. Like, only of selfish actions of people that I've hurt. But like, as far as how I've lived my life, I really don't have any regrets. I've really enjoyed being spinal cord injured in a lot of ways because it's certainly given me like a depth that I never would have had to life. Like, it really gave me something that no one who's not, either severely disabled or like had some catastrophic health thing where like I basically turned into, an 84-year-old man when I was 26 or 7 whenever I got paralyzed. And that's incredible in a lot of ways because it just
humbling.
Humbles you, gives you so much appreciation for other people's help. Like it overall, being spinal cord injured has been a huge bonus to my soul. It's tough on the psyche, but the soul's really benefited from it.
Yeah, it is tough on the psyche. I can agree that it's definitely soul enriching in its own way, where there's people in the world that will never experience the things that we've experienced. And to look at the human experience as a spectrum, we definitely are living a full spectrum of, like, we're just living in that full spectrum from the heartache and suffering to seeing what God can do in one's life. Like there's all of that.
I think the spectrum expands as I think that if you never experience suffering and misery, that your happiness spectrum can only go so far. And I think it expands perfectly evenly with each other. The more suffering you experience, the more bliss you're allowed to experience. And it's going to oscillate between those. You're going to experience, I experienced the maximum amount of suffering humanly possible today, but I also experienced moments of just incredible peace that I never had before. I used to have a static underlying anxiety that kind of just underpinned my life. And it never went away. It was always there. But something that's happened since being spinal cord injured, I get to experience brief, albeit, and transient moments of just incredible peace.
Yeah, and I think that's super important to recognize and appreciate, because that spectrum and being all the way down on the suffering end, it's sometimes extremely difficult to see the other side, or, as low as it can get, it can also go equally as high.
Mm-hmm. And you just have to be grateful for the fact that you've got that far end of the spectrum to experience now.
Yeah, it's like that saying where, when you reach rock bottom, the only way from there is up. And the up could be insurmountable to the low. Something
that surprisingly, I was watching a YouTube video from this family they're the most famous sailing YouTube, or one of the most famous. They're called Sailing La Vagabond, and it's this.
Tell me about them.
Yeah, and it's just a wife and a husband, and they're both just super cool. They have incredible cinematography, and they're out sailing in beautiful places. And I watched one of the videos, and he was doing an ad read for BetterHelp, and he was talking about how he looks at emotions like weather, that it comes and goes. And that one line that he said during an ad read in that video transformed my how I have been looking at moments of suffering.
Yeah, that's funny. It's cool that that's what resonated with you, because I tell some friends that get caught in these vicious cycles of their mind just running rampant to them, that these thoughts that come through, these emotions that come through, it would be in comparison to a friend coming over that wants to smoke a joint with you. And so say an emotion comes through, they got this emotion has a joint, and they come knocking at your door, and you open it, and it's whether or not you invite them in to smoke a joint with, or you say, no, I'm good, and then you close the door and you don't let that come through.
I love the analogy.
I literally have said that to so many friends.
And
to be honest, the first one was the first analogy was for that emotion or thought to come and do some ketamine. But so then it's whether or not you decide if you want to do it with that emotion or not.
I like the joint analogy more, because the friend with the ketamine's coming inside.
I know, but that's why it makes it that much harder to say yes or no.
But I mean, it's true to an extent, but sometimes that friend, like if we're going to keep the analogy going, and that friend is an emotion, that friend kicks down the door and holds you down and like blows ketamine up your ass, because like sometimes my emotions, like I don't have an option to be like, man, they're already in.
So then that's the comparison
already,
of the hurricane coming through.
Yeah, it's already happening. Like by the time I recognize like the situation, it's already underway. I'm like in the middle of the suffering or the anger or something.
They like combine, you already have it like all lined up, ready to go. And you're like, oh. It's like fancy seeing you here.
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, just knowing that you have the option. Well, I mean, that's where the work is, right? Like the work to say no and to be in the potential like discomfort of, 10 seconds of saying no to letting that thought come in or in that emotion or whatever it is. That, I mean, it might be extremely uncomfortable to say no, but knowing that you can go through that discomfort to help your future self out, or to know that, okay, if I let this thought come in, like this is what could potentially happen, and then to stop that and mitigate it from ruining the rest of your day.
Yeah, I'm definitely at the point where I'm not able to recognize the emotion before it gets there, but I'm able to recognize it early on in its development. Like, oh, this is a thought pathway that's leading to this emotion, and all I have to do is think different thoughts. And
to break that thought pattern.
Yeah, and then I won't be, if I just think, oh my God, this sucks. Oh my God, my back hurts. Oh, wow, this is so painful. Like, holy shit. If I just keep thinking that, but if I just start thinking, this doesn't hurt at all, I actually feel okay. Like everything.
Even though it's so hard.
It's so hard, but it works to an extent. Like you're still experiencing, if you're in chronic, intense, crazy pain, you're still experiencing it, but you can get momentum. I just am adamant that the only true salve for pain is action. Like you just can't languish in it, no matter. But that first, like once you get momentum, it's easy. But like my mornings are defined by how soon I take that like how long I languish before I take that first incredible muster of everything I have to sit up in bed.
Yeah. If I feel that when my like nerve pain comes on and just like is jolting me like every 3 minutes, like sometimes I like get so fed up, but it takes a really long time to go from feeling that to hopping just on the Peloton and like getting moving to get my mind off of it. And most of the time when I do hop on the Peloton, it goes away, and then as soon as I get off the Peloton, it's back. But at least I dissipated some of the internal energy for it to not be as bad. But from the time that it comes to hopping on the Peloton, it can be, sometimes it's taken me 30, 45 minutes, an hour, and then I hop on the Peloton and I'm like, oh, I'm such a fucking idiot. Like, why didn't I just hop on the Peloton like as soon as it happened? Because it's like I during that time, I think that it's going to get better, and then it never gets better until I just take action.
I mean, I know mine's not going to get better, and I still don't. It still takes me a while to take action. I'm depleted by it because I don't sleep very much because of the pain, and I just it takes a lot to get that first bit of movement going. It just takes everything that I have. What has really been helping me lately, I don't know how it took me 5 years to discover this, but is just in bed, just putting on a banger song and like putting on my headphones right away and just putting a banger song on in bed.
Yeah.
Seems like a solution I could have come up with or tried sooner.
Yeah, sometimes I pray like right in the moment. I'm like, can you please take this away from me, or can you like help me adjust my thoughts to a place where this isn't as bad, XYZ, things like that. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And then when it does work, I'm just like so grateful. I'm like, oh my God, some relief.
I feel like I by the time it gets to morning time, I'm pretty tapped out on praying, because I wake up a lot of times in the night in tons of pain, and I'm like, please just let it go away. And it doesn't.
Oh yeah, sometimes, I get it. And sometimes I'm in tears, like screaming. And I totally know what you mean by it being exhausting. I'm not to the extent that you have it, but I know a little bit.
Pain's pain. It doesn't, I mean, if it's a 6 or a 4 or whatever it is, it's debilitating.
Yeah, it is debilitating, especially when you don't know how long it's going to last.
It's so interesting to like try to find meaning in it, but also when you're praying so hard, believing so hard, and the pain just keeps going and going, it's definitely a challenge to stay the path and keep the faith alive. But I don't know I don't know what I'm trying to do, describe it, or how I'm trying to package this, but I don't know. I'll just leave it at that it's super hard to understand why this is happening to you in the moment. I think it's probably the thing that hangs most people up in their recovery more than anything else, is this really intense need or desire to understand why this is happening to you.
Yeah, I think that also brings people, and not people even in like spinal cord injury, but people going through other pains in their life, that makes them end up not going to the gym, and it makes them start overeating because they find comfort in food, and they try finding all of these things to, I guess, compress the pain or subdue the pain to where they are justifying certain actions because of what it is that they're going through.
The only time that I think it's totally that I'm sympathetic to everyone's situation, but that I'm really empathetic, and I don't know if I would be able to ever understand why it happened. I think the most risk I could ever have of losing faith completely, when bad things are happening to you, it's one thing, but like if something happened to a child that I loved, like that would, I understand not being able to wrestle with that. But if it's your own suffering, certainly, unless you're like 0.001% of the population, certainly you can understand like why it could happen to you. We're all shirking responsibilities. Most people are most people aren't living up to their absolute full potential, and so it's obviously a message to you that like, hey, you're not quite living up to your full potential. You got some more spirit to give to the world.
Yeah, and that's why some people just get stopped right in their tracks to redirect and recalibrate, refocus onto what God has you like in line for.
I listened to the reason I think the child thing came up is because I listened to, what's that Eric Clapton song? No Tears in Heaven, or Tears in Heaven. But anyways, he wrote it to his kid that died, and it's just incredibly intense and moving when you know that, because when I first heard the song I didn't understand the context of it, but once I realized that it was written in the wake of his kid's death, I was like, damn, this hits
entirely different.
It's entirely different.
Yeah, well, and it gives like a deeper, there you can feel like the pain and the hurt in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. That's a lot of pain and hurt there.
Yeah.
Have you heard that song? Obviously, have you heard that song? Just talking about hurt, the song "Hurt" by Johnny Cash.
I probably have in passing, but I couldn't reiterate or like sing it.
Oh man, we'll listen to it after we're off the podcast because I always can't play it with YouTube copyright.
Yeah,
but
damn.
It's so good.
Okay,
It just clicked in my brain. But anyways, that's completely tangented there. Yeah, well, I mean, that was a pretty solid episode. Should we call it an episode?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we should too.
Yeah.
We got to do a 5K run neither of us are running.
Yeah,
a 5K.
I mean, I'm walking.
Roll. Yeah, you're walking.
We'll see how long it takes to get to the 1 mile mark, and then if I'm feeling extremely confident, we'll maybe do the 2.1 following. But we don't know. We're just gonna see, and we're just gonna go with it, and you never know what's gonna happen. I could do a full 3.1, but
it's 3.1 miles.
Yeah.
Oh.
A 5K.
Oh, that's awesome. That's easy. You're walking. I'm wheeling. It's super easy to wheel.
Yeah.
I thought it was way farther. I don't know. I didn't think about it, I guess.
Yeah.
I was thinking 5 miles. In my head, I was just thinking it was 5 miles. I don't know why. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's
5
way less
miles
daunting.
would literally take like 5 hours for me.
That was super. I mean, 3 miles is a long ways to walk. I mean, I haven't seen yet full speed, but I've seen you walk around core quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what full speed looks like. I know, I could potentially push you, and we'll see how fast we go.
We're definitely going to be in dead last.
100%. I even told them, I'm like, what's going to happen if I come back and everyone's gone? But, we'll see.
Aren't most people riding bikes?
I think
a lot of people wheel.
I think there's some hand cycles, but I think a lot of people like walk it and like do half run, half walk type thing.
I was there last time and should know, but all I was thinking about is fuck, my hands are cold.
Yeah, because it was super cold last year. I was in like a jumpsuit last year. Like that's how cold it was.
I was improperly dressed because I was fucking freezing.
I was still cold even in the jumpsuit. So, but yeah, that's tomorrow. We'll see what happens. It'll be a Misogi. For me, at least.
Yeah, it won't be. It'll just be pretty chill walk.
Moral support.
It'll just be an average roll for me. I'll be pretty tired at the end of 3 miles, but that's definitely way less than you wheel when you go to frickin' Disney.
Yeah, I wasn't really happy with my Disney experience, so. But yeah, this is true. Well, we're gonna wheel a marathon, a half marathon. Remember?
I'm game.
Yeah, we have to find we just have to find a half marathon. We just have to do it.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah.
We'll do it. We'll put our ear to the ground for one that's close by and flat.
Yeah, and then we have to mic up during it, and then we'll just record. There's this one chick who never. I remember. I gotta find the video and send it to you because it's so funny. But she like never ran like a half marathon ever, or I didn't even think a 5K, and she basically started like. Signed up for one and started running it, and the way that she like recorded like bits and pieces of it, but it's basically front camera view, and she's like running and doing it, and she's got like people like cheering her on with her, and they're all like running, and she's like rallying, and she completed it, and it was one of the funniest videos I've had watched. Like it was great. That's
badass. I definitely the training for that sounds hellaciously boring, so I'll definitely be going into it undertrained.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just have to wheel it.
There's no way
we'll just wear some gloves, I think, and then we'll be okay.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going out and, like, building up to wheeling
13 miles.
13 miles. I'm not going to. That's so boring. Like,
that would, yeah. We would just do the boardwalk.
My dog doesn't like walking more than, like, a mile or two before she gets bored.
True. Yeah. Well.
All right. Cool. We digress. We're out here.
Sorry. Perfect.
Goodbye.
See ya.